Now we find ourselves in a sand trap. In trying to work on the sand play, the first thing we have to do is define the purpose of the sand wedge itself. Most people truly do not understand the design of the golf club. The sand wedge is designed with the flange, which is your back edge of your golf club, sits closer to the ground than the front edge. In every other club in your bag, the front edge or leading edge of your golf club rests on the ground. With the back of the flange, you'll see some of your manufacturers even give you a degree of flange. The flange is resting closer to the ground. The more you open the club, which is desirable in a sand shot, you can see that that makes the flange more prevalent and raises the leading edge off of the ground. When we swing out of the sand, we're trying to get the back edge of the club to skid through the sand in this fashion. We're never trying to dig the club out of the sand. So the first thing we have to do is understand the golf club and then know how to use the golf club during the swing. As you can see me using this club going through, you can see that the club head is passing the butt end. That's the only way we can skid the club head through the sand consistently. So when we set up to the ball, the first thing we want to do is start from a square position and then learn to preset the club open. When we're setting the club open, that is giving us more loft and also lowering the flange. Since we have preset the club open, we need to line ourselves up slightly more to the left of the target versus a normal shot from the field. So if I'm standing up to hit this ball at that pin, we could take my line of flight, being this line in the sand here. Since I have taken the club and preset it open, I now need to turn my body slightly more to the left. Once I've set myself up, I want to do a couple things at my address position to ensure a better chance of hitting the ball properly. First, we want to stand slightly wider. We want to flex our knees a little bit more. What this does is start to put the bottom of our swing arc below the ground. One of my favorite drills with amateurs is set them up to the ball and then have them take the club and try to lower the club into the sand at least a ½ inch to 3/4 inch underneath the ground. That's where the club should be bottoming out. Your tour players will stand up and they'll keep their arms relaxed and up, but they know when they swing, the club is going to go to a bottom of the swing arc underneath the sand. That avoids you having to try to dig the club into the sand, which again forces the club into the front edge or leading edge, which makes it too sharp. We want to get ourselves in the sand, arms relaxed, legs slightly wider, knees flexed. This puts our bottom of the swing arc down. From there, we have to learn to swing to let the club head pass the hands so the club head can skid. As the club is passing the hands, it's necessary to realize we have to turn the body through the shot. Too many of our students will stand up at a sand shot and they'll just flip the hands at it, and as that hands flip, the club face is closing. And when the club face is closing too much, the leading edge comes into play and the club is going to dig too much into the sand. So we need to make sure we're letting the club release with our body passing this way. So we set up to the ball, feet slightly left, turn back, turn through, let the club get in the sand. From that position, the club is always going to make that thumping sound as it goes through, and you want to listen to a good sand shot. The club will have a percussion thumping sound when the flange hits properly.
You're watching Vegas Sports.